Hi, my name is Scotty B. Thank you for tuning in for College Radio Day 2018. This year's theme was When All Else Fails, College Radio Speaks. I'd like to introduce you to this year's chairman, Tony Morehouse. He exemplifies in every way this year's theme. He's going to share his story of strength, courage, and the powerful force that college radio had on his life. After you hear his compelling story, you will understand why, when all else fails, college radio speaks. Tony?
How do, sir? How do you do?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
We're a little frazzled around here, but yeah.
Frizzle-frazzled is how I like to say it.
Definitely.
But we're having a lot of fun here today because today's a really special day, right? It's College Radio Day. And Tony, you are the producer for this show, aren't you?
Yes, all blame lies with me. That's very true.
Well, you're doing a great job so far, and now you're on the opposite end of the receiving part here, and you're being interviewed to talk about your story, which actually, as I mentioned, is a great story, and we look forward to it. Let's start off with your how you got started here. What made you get involved with college radio?
Well, it definitely stems from my experience that I will speak about shortly, but I really like telling people what to listen to. I like sharing music. Music is pretty much the driving force for me. You know, pretty much everything revolves around music for me. You know what I mean? I've always got the radio on in my head. I'm always listening to something new. Always looking forward to experiencing and finding new music and sharing it. So it seemed like a natural move to jump into college radio and try and cast a wider net, if you will.
Sure, yeah. So how would you say you got started with KLBC and KCTY here?
I needed a class so I can get 12 units, and so it's kind of like, well, I'll take that class. It seems kind of interesting. But in the back of my head, it was always an obvious choice because, well, for the previous experience, which I will speak of in a little bit, but you know, there's pottery and there's fine arts and there's all that sort of stuff. It just, none of those things ever called to me the way that radio and music do. So.
Yeah. So with radio, have you always known you wanted to get into that, or was it more of like a trial and error?
No, definitely not something I ever thought of as doing for a hobby or for profession or anything like that. And I'm certainly not good enough to do either of those. So for me, it's just
I think some people will beg to differ.
It's a lot of waiting around and seeing if it's a lot of throwing something at the walls and seeing if something sticks.
Sure, shotgun effect. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Awesome. So when you got started, would you say how kind of music were you into, and how did you think that influenced your decisions in terms of getting involved more on the on the back end?
Well, I play music, and that's nothing consequential. But I would say that within the last 15 years or so, music has become ever increasingly important for me. It was a coping mechanism for lots of dark times, and the music that eventually called to me the most, the music in my heart, is like metal, punk rock, that sort of stuff. So I was fascinated by the technicality of it, the precision that you hear when you're listening to, you know, really gnarly, thrashy riffs and that sort of thing. I would never, ever consider myself so close-minded I won't listen to anything. There's stuff I don't like. There's a lot of stuff I do like, and a lot of it is very, very, there's a lot of variety. You know, I'll listen to bluegrass one moment, and then I'll go right to death metal, and then I'll listen to Avril Lavigne, and then it'll be Celtic music, you know, and the transitions, they don't strike me as anything, there's nothing wrong with it, you know. It doesn't seem out of place at all. You know, all music, for me, is great, you know, as long as there's music in the world. That's
rare in today's world, to appreciate all genres.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it stems from playing music myself. You kind of, there's an acknowledgement, and it's certainly not a gatekeeping thing. You know, anybody and everybody that likes music, they like it for the right reasons. But for me, the biggest kind of eye opener was trying to play myself, and then learning that, you know, this stuff's hard. So you know, when people of any genre do cool stuff, it's really impressive to me.
That's wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
So with today being College Radio Day, and as I mentioned, the theme for today is When All Else Fails, College Radio Speaks.
Right.
Would you like to break down that statement for us?
Well, specifically to myself or just in general?
Oh, let's start with something in general, and I'm curious your interpretation of it.
I believe, and I fully believe, that college radio is providing something that you just are not going to get with a commercial station. And this isn't regurgitating some blurb I heard or rehashing some conversation that we've had in class or whatever. It's a sincere belief. Commercial radio, if you turn it on for 2 hours, you're going to hear the same song 3 times. You're gonna hear the same artist 7 times throughout the day. You know what I mean?
True.
And it's not frustrating insofar as I don't like that music. It's just that you're not getting the variety. You're not allowing anything else to breathe. And because of that, it seems like college radio, because it is independent and it's a lot of students and lovers of music going out there volunteering their time to share new stuff, underground stuff, buried stuff you've never heard before. And because of that, it's doing better for fans of music and fans of radio in general than a commercial station will. And I mean, here at this station we have talk shows, we have music programming, we have DJs that come in here and spin, and they're doing their thing, and it's refreshing because there's that human touch that you're not going to get at a commercial station.
Very humanized.
And when I listen to any commercial radio station and I hear some generalized bleh, this is your today, it's just unimpressive.
Yeah.
They're trying. I'm sure they're professionals and they've been doing it. They've been in the trenches, but at the same time, it's just like, what else you got,
Yeah, it's almost like I feel like, no offense to professional DJs or anything, but they have to satisfy a lot of people.
Yes.
Not just their listeners, but their studio execs and even the guy across the room.
Yeah, there's a really fine line that
sponsors
that they have to toe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so because of that, they're kind of held hostage by the business that it is.
Sure, and we don't have that kind of restriction here at College Radio, do we?
They don't have guns to our foreheads. Here
well,
at
like
KLBC.
slingshots, but we can dodge those easy.
Yeah.
So it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned that you played instruments as well. What kind of instruments do you play?
Okay.
Where do we start? Let's do a timeline. When you were a wee toddler.
Didn't actually start that early. I was gifted a guitar at 16, and I put it in a closet and I let it get dusty. I didn't really start playing guitar until turned 2006. Until I turned about I was 20, and so the guitar, and then following that, I got on the bass, and then I got into drums, and I did vocals for a little bit. None of it well, just a lot of noise.
Well, you know what? We play music for the love of it, right?
Yeah. Well, back then it was horrible. There's a little bit of improvement since, but no, seriously, just like a very small amount of improvement. But it's a lot. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was a very frustrating period where you're learning, but afterwards, everything kind of comes naturally, and it's a lot of fun.
Got it. So guitar was your primary instrument. Any others?
No, just the bass, which is an extension of the guitar, or a derivation of the guitar, and then the drums. Drums are my favorite. If I could go back in time, I would have learned the drums from the gate. But
Got rhythm?
Not to dance, but I can keep beat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, drums are great to if you're really good at keeping rhythm, because I think everything else follows that: the melody, the vocals, everything. So we need the rhythm. Wonderful. So your guitar that you have, do you still have it?
Yeah, actually,
the original.
This would be a really good time into the story that
segue
like
into it.
Yeah, exactly. So, hi, my name's Tony. I'm an ex-felon. I was arrested at 18. It was March of 2004, and I wound up spending 11 years and 1 month in prison. And it's as bad as you can imagine, but surprisingly, there were a lot of bright spots. And the bright spot that I can reliably say as being one of the best experiences and best moments in my life was when I received my first guitar from home. It was March 16th, 2006, exactly 2 years and 1 day after I was arrested. And prior to receiving that guitar, I was going through jail and then sentencing, and then I actually wound up making it to a penitentiary. And There was a lot of really sad time there. That's 2 years of just like your life sucks now. Everything you thought is now gone. Every future possibility you had is been, all those doors are closed, and it was a really depressing time. I wound up attempting suicide.
Sorry.
And
to hear that.
hey, this people go through crazy stuff. And there was I obviously I'm here, so I failed at that too. And the guitar wound up becoming this conduit, you know what I mean, for like a therapeutic conduit. And I mean, I use that term loosely because there are people that actually need these kinds of these totems, these things, these concrete objects, and they channel and they heal through them. And I will say that I see the guitar as that, but it really was more or less a method for me to be productive while I was incarcerated, aside from going to school and working in there, you know what I mean? So the guitar, I still have that guitar. It's in a case. I was thinking about bringing it here, but I had a late morning. I had a lot of stuff to do because we're getting ready for this.
Tony's been really busy, honestly, running like a chicken with his head cut off.
Yeah, definitely. So the guitar, got it in 2006, and you wind up hanging out on the yard, and there's people, and for me, I wound up interacting with a gentleman named Brian St. Jean, and he was our resident metalhead. And it's really funny because, he had his guitar and I had my guitar, but keep in mind, these are acoustic instruments, they're not devised to be amplified or have any sort of, they don't have any natural distortion.
Oh yeah, all you've got, you don't want to carry all this equipment around with you. You just want one acoustic guitar and
yeah, exactly.
You're good to go.
And that's all you can have in there. So it's funny because we're playing like Slayer and Metallica on acoustic guitars, and it sounds really, really dinky. It's so ridiculous just to think about the sounds that we had. But in your head, you're like thrash. You're like, yeah,
you're filling all the gaps.
Oh my God, yeah, it sounds amazing. And it's just an interesting thing. So I wound up hanging out with Brian St. Jean, and he started showing me how to play metal. He really taught me how to play metal. He was an excellent musician himself, and I mean, he played everything as well. But kindred spirits. He was a metalhead. I wound up really getting into that style of music, and so it became natural that I start exploring and talking to people about that sort of stuff. And there's a solid handful of us on the yard that had collections of CDs. I had none at the time when I was first starting. So I wound up talking to my friend Tilch and Puke and Bam Bam. These are all real names. These are their handles. It's not their real names. I'm sorry. It's their handles. Yeah, but I mean, okay. So Brian was Bonzo. Bam Bam was Bruce. Puke was Jacob. I wound up talking to Reggie, Regimental, Reggie. All these names, and we wound up just hanging out and sharing music. And I'm like, this is all brand new, and this just waterfall of new music for myself to really enjoy. And they wound up being like stuff like punk rock and hardcore and metal, and then there was classic stuff, and there was country, and there was Hank Williams, and there was Merle Haggard, and then there was some hip hop. You know what I mean? There was like De La Soul and Wu-Tang and stuff like that. And it's just like all this new music is really, really impressing itself upon me, because music at that point became like the thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The thing. That's how I was doing time. I had the radio on, and it was just like constant
way
music.
to pass the time as well.
Exactly. It was a way to pass the time. Count time comes, you pop a CD on, you take a nap. And then when the CD's over, you wake up and you go to chow. Stuff like that, When you're working out, you put a CD on and you're listening and you're doing stuff. But, geez, it's a lot of talking about.
Well, you created a regimen, it sounds like, which also is important,
Yep.
I think, for structuring life, no matter where you are or what you're doing.
That's very true. It's very true. It was just a way of distributing effort throughout the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a certain amount of energy went to this, went to that. And through all of this, I'm in San Luis Obispo, and there's a college station out there, KCPR, based out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. And they have on Wednesdays, amongst all the other days, but Wednesdays was the day. Wednesday was, starting at 7 was the Roster Revolution, and then 8 to 10 was Punk is Dead, and then from 10 to 11, New Noise Manifesto, and from 11 to 1 was Satanic Carnage. And these DJs were responsive. We wrote in, and it would be like, "Hey man, can you play this for my boy? Blah 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 blah. Hey, can you play this? Can you play this? Hey, I've never heard this song. Can you play this?" And it was this was all in place long before I got there. You know what I mean?
So they already had something,
a rapport.
almost like a club.
Exactly.
You guys had there that you're just like, I'm joining the club.
Yeah,
the music club.
They already had a rapport with the station up there, and they were already writing in and talking and so on and so forth. So it was just kind of like, hey, come on out Wednesday nights, and we'll go all listen to it. So we'd hang out. We'd either walk laps around the track, or if someone had a J-Win, which is a boombox.
I was curious, actually. J-Win, is that an acronym?
Yeah, no. Well, I'm sure it's an acronym, but J-Win is just it's just a general boombox. All the appliances in there are clear, so they're a manufacturer of clear appliances.
Okay.
And so you have that thing, and you can take it to the yard, and if the speakers are working, you just blast it.
So you turned the level up to 10. It still wasn't loud enough, right? Did you do something?
Yeah, exactly. So one of the coolest memories that I have of that time was tuning in and emptying a trash can off the yard, and then throwing the J-Win inside the trash can just to get it to be really boomy and amplified.
Smart.
And we would just huddle around it like we were, hanging out by a bonfire or something like that. And, we're just thrashing out all night, just music, hardcore tunes, just digging it. And that was the routine. Every Wednesday, I'd tune into KCPR. I'd listen to them throughout the rest of the week. Like on Mondays, they had Milk Crates for Days. They had Torch, which was all like French lounge music on Tuesdays. They had all sorts of really, really cool stuff on Saturday nights. And I believe there's a couple of stations that still do blues on Saturday nights. And it was just, it was so much better than the commercial radio out there. And I don't want to call out those commercial those stations, because, they sucked, and I don't want to put them down like that.
Well, although our listening audience is probably curious, not about that. I'm not going to put them on the spot. But did you ever write in to the radio stations?
Yeah.
Did you ever get responses?
Well, definitely. Whenever we would write in, they were super responsive. It was almost like a long distance relationship. You know what I mean? An old long distance relationship using snail mail and stuff. So we would send something out, right? And it was like, okay, so I sent it out on Wednesday. That means it should get there on Monday. That means he should have time to put it all together on Wednesday.
Wow.
And then that sort of
very calculated.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you get good with the mail, because that's all you got. You know what I mean? So mail becomes like this second nature thing, and people would write in weekly, and it would be just like this regular block. Like, here, this block's for Reggie. So Citizen Dick was the host for Punk Is Dead, and this block goes out to Reggie, and this one goes out to Bam Bam, and this one goes out to Tilch, and you'd hear these songs, and it would be like, hey, I put a song in there. You'd see each other in the morning throughout the day. You're at the weight pile, or you're going to work together. And it's like, hey, I put in a song. You better listen to that. I'll be there, bro. You know what I mean? That sort of stuff. And then it would be, I played that song for you. You know what I mean? It would be Dead Kennedys for somebody, or it would be somebody's birthday, and we'd play them a really, really horrible song. Like, that's your birthday song. So suck it. That sort of stuff. And that's kind of what it was like. We would write in. They'd talk about us on the air. They'd say, hey, you know what I mean? Like, we really felt like an integral part of their experience also, because, it's college radio.
Yeah.
You're not touching everybody in LA Metro. You're in a college town, and you're lucky if the students are tuned in and not on Spotify or Pandora.
Yeah.
So, I would like to think that we were a major part of the listening audience for those particular shows. If not, then that's great too, because that means they had a good wide reach. But if we were what they looked forward to every week, then we feel really good about that. We would feel really good about that.
Did you ever find it hard to miss a show, or like maybe something out of your control? And what would you do in situations like that? Yeah,
like if you get locked down, or your batteries died, or any random thing, like if your radio went down, if it broke, dude, you were.
Does that happen before your J-Win?
The J-Win went down a couple times. Like, I tried to get some rechargeable. They have electricians. They have electrical specialists on the yard, and they'd break in, and they'd start tweaking on stuff. And so I needed to get some rechargeable setup in there, and the thing was down for like a week. I'm like, bro, you're killing me right now. So, if something goes down, you're like scrambling. Hey, bro, you got an extra radio? No, bro, I don't have another radio.
Oh, gosh.
Dude, I need another radio. Well, you got to go talk to this guy. And it would be like a mission.
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
You're spending 3 hours trying to find a little AM, FM radio so you can listen to the show.
And it was like a bartering system, right? Because you said you had CDs. Would you ever trade
Yeah.
CDs with other
So
mates?
aside from every Wednesday ritual, got to be out there, sacrifice a goat, that sort of thing. Other than that, everybody had collections of CDs. You know what I mean? I wound up having a really decent sized collection. Mine wound up getting in around 170, 180. But there were guys that had like 300. Their entire locker and their entire shelves dedicated to nothing but music. So you'd go around, and it's like, hey man, can I get this, 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 and this? And you wind up cataloging every one of your CDs. Every time you add a CD, you'll put it on the end of the list, and it's like, man, this is all out of order. So you'll spend an hour alphabetizing a list for somebody else to have. And you're just like, here's a list for you. Here's a list for you. And, you go through somebody's list if you get tired of your stuff. And then it's kind of like, hey, bro, let me borrow, Seasons of the Abyss, South of Heaven, and Divine Intervention.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bro, I'll go get it. You know what I mean? And then he's like, hey, can I get Within the Remains, some Lamb of God and this, that, and the other, you know what I mean? Or some Agnostic Front, stuff like that. And it was just a natural thing, just like borrowing a movie from Netflix or something.
Yeah, like when we were kids, I mean, when I was a kid at least, I know we would be borrowing DVDs and audio CDs very similarly, although even from our friends, we wouldn't always get it back.
Yeah, exactly.
So has that ever been an issue where you couldn't get your CDs back you lent out?
Well, if you lend something out and somebody gets rolled up, locked up into the shoe or the hole.
Something out of their control.
Yeah, something that they were fully in control of, but they refused to. Yeah, exactly. So if somebody gets in trouble and they roll up your CDs, like, you know what I mean? And you try, if you know the cop that did the roll up, they might let you go in and get your stuff, but generally not. So, stuff came and went. I wound up picking up a few CDs from people that got rolled up, but, hey, that's just the nature of the game.
Yeah.
So it was, you do wind up tiering your collection. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna let you listen to this, but I need it back. Or like, I don't trust you. You can't
make
touch
them
my
accountable,
stuff.
right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
important.
Exactly.
So you said your locker was full of CDs.
Yeah.
Does that mean you had no room for anything else?
Yeah, soups, food, none of that.
Well, what did you eat? Your CDs?
Yeah. Well, no. I mean,
Crunchy.
They feed you, but
That's
I mean, yeah, the priority was and always has been since then music.
Yeah.
So it was like, I'll go hungry if I can have some more music.
That explains a lot, and that's why we're interviewing you right now, because you're the best man for this job.
Well, yeah, no, right on. I'm glad it speaks to the theme. You know what I mean? That's an obvious plug for College Radio Day, just so y'all know. But yeah.
It's true. When all else fails, College Radio speaks, and Tony's a prime example of that.
Right on.
Yeah, we're so happy to have him here.
Right on. Well, hey, I'm tired, so I'd like to go to bed. But you guys are great.
There's a corner over there you can take a nap if you like.
I'm sure I'll get a pillow.
Yeah. Because next up we have Knife Girl and DJ Deacon will be hosting.
Yeah.
That up here.
That's really, really cool. We have a lot of really cool guests coming up.
Yes, we do.
Knife Girl. We have a rapper from Poly, T Lost. After that, we got Valdivia X, which is a really, really cool art rock. Awesome
rock
band.
serialism thing.
Jimmy Dale, blues, jazz, guitar. After that, we have Sylvia Bosco. She's a really awesome singer-songwriter. And then we'll close everything out with Rafael Carlos Serrato. He's a really cool singer-songwriter as well. So if y'all care, please stay tuned to KLBC.
Yes, please do.
Yeah.
And we welcome Tony here, and we thank him for his time.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
We appreciate you here.
Right on, Ron. This was really cool. This was really cool.
Great. Thank you. Please stand by for our next segment.
And hello out there on College Radio Day, here from the campus of Long Beach City College. I'm Deacon D, and I want you to know that our theme this year for College Radio Day is When All Else Fails, College Radio Speaks. Now, the music that you've been listening to, this is our artist that we have with us right now. That would be Liz Wiegard, otherwise known as Knife Girl. Knife Girl, what do I just call you, Knife, or?
You can call me Liz.
You want to say that again?
You can call me Liz.
Okay, Liz. What I'm listening to right now, this is nice.
Thank you.
I like this. But Knife Girl, or I've just been allowed to call her Liz, We're going to talk with her a little bit later. Right now, I think that maybe what we should do is go ahead and let her do her thing. You'll learn a lot more about her a little bit later.
Mic 3.
Is that all good with you? We're all good here. Liz, you ready to roll?
Yes.
All right, and away we go.
You got me walking with a chip on my shoulder. Find everybody, so I say that I told you. So if it's all you want to walk no further, step right up to the American Granger. And everybody wasn't getting old, growing up, getting sick, and a little bit bored. Maybe you can make me angry, but not enough. I wanna see you fall apart. 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 You work your hardest when you're stealing from babies. Pat your back, grinning like a rat with rabies. Dreaming black or white of all the good men losing. Sleeping on the job and tell yourself that you're winning. If everybody wasn't getting old, growing up, getting sick, and a little bit poorer, maybe you can make me angry, but not enough. I wanna see you fall apart. 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 Yeah. They shot your son in school today, but that's money for the NRA. No matter what you try and say, they're not gonna take your guns away. They shot your son in school today, but that's money for the NRA. No matter what you try and say, they're not gonna take your guns away. I wanna see you fall apart. I wanna see you fall apart. I wanna see you fall apart. I wanna see you fall apart.
And what was that piece called?
That was called I Wanna See You Fall Apart.
Who would have guessed? Please
Right.
carry on.
Thank you. Sorry. I usually have to just take a quick drink.
Not an issue here. And also must be required, you have to bang your head on one of the microphones.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's what it takes to make it work, but it's sounding good, please continue.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not hearing the guitar so much. Sorry. There we go. Cool, cool. Thank you. I try to do what they do, but theirs comes out so much better than mine. I'm looking into their lives, 'cause I wanna love their happiest times. And the windows smile and laugh is so much fun. And their hearts break. They never let it see the sun. Baby, I'm a narcissist, oh, but I don't wanna be myself. Maybe what the problem is that all of them are so damn cool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool. They live in their own story. I'm just trying to pay the rest of my bills, they inches from the glory. And I'm down here with the rest of the reels. And the windows, they smile and laugh is so much fun. And their heart break, they never let it see the sun. Baby, I'm a narcissist, oh, but I don't wanna be myself. Maybe what the problem is that all of them look so damn cool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool. I want you looking for me, I want you looking for me, I want you looking for me, I want you looking for me. Baby, I'm a narcissist, but I don't wanna be myself. Maybe what the problem is that all of them look so damn cool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool, and I'm a damn fool.
Sweet. You look like when you sing, you're really passionate about what it is that you're doing. So, if you don't mind.
Cool. I learned. I'm not gonna hit my head again.
Okay. Incidentally, this is College Radio Day from the campus of Long Beach City College.
You fight your battles with the broken arm. It's never failed, there it is. It's been a while since you won. When you do think about that story, come back to me, where you can breathe. But don't stay too long, you've got places to be. I know one day when you're gone, I hope you get what you want. 'Cause we're not down here for long. You keep chasing lightning, keep chasing lightning. You're telling me what I should do. Doing again. Thing is, I'm not like you. My battlefield is not the same. 'Cause when I'm down and found, you keep chasing the lightning, keep chasing the lightning. My future is in time, but I'm the one who's gonna hold the pen. Future's every time, yeah. But I'm the one who's gonna hold the pen. I know one day when you're gone, I hope you get what you want. 'Cause when I'm down and fire, you keep chasing the lightning, keep chasing the lightning. I know that when you're gone, I hope you get what you want. 'Cause when I'm down and fire, you keep chasing the lightning, keep chasing the lightning.
Wow. You know what? I could listen to that. That is such a blend of a whole lot of different styles, but they're all reminiscent of good rock and good R&B, and wow, images of Carole King pop up
Oh, wow,
for
thanks.
me. But come on, I know you got more.
I have two more.
Then please share the wealth.
Callie's, Callie sees the bright side. She's always happy. It's a smooth ride. And Callie doesn't realize the way they want her because she's too kind. Long hair, blue eyes, long legs, desire. You fall in love with her each and every time. 'Cause when she's not looking, that's when you're looking. You're drinking her in. You're drinking her in. Gally likes the sunshine. She don't do much, but she's so kind. And Callie's life is easy. The boys like her because she's pretty. Long hair, blue eyes, long legs, desire. You fall in love with her each and every time. 'Cause when she's not looking, that's when you're looking. You're drinking her in. You're drinking her in. And Callie doesn't know those bad men thinking bad thoughts, calling her a bad girl. Callie wouldn't want it if she knew what you wanted her for. Callie doesn't know this bad man thinking bad thoughts, calling her a bad girl. And Callie wouldn't want it if she knew what you wanted her for. 'Cause when she's not looking, that's when you're looking. You're drinking her in. You're drinking her in. You're drinking her in.
Now, see, in that, I sense a little bit of, I don't know, Tracy Chapman maybe, or,
I do love Tracy Chapman.
well, but you have your own unique way of presenting it. So this is your last song,
Yes.
and it almost makes me sad, but please go ahead with it.
Thank you. This one, hopefully you'll see why it's my last. It's kind of what I consider to be my showstopper as far as the looping goes. Sorry. Un momento, por favor. There we go. Okay. Okay.
To call and all the people start to holler as the sun is going down. And the baby's crying in the kitchen, but the sunset really hit you in your soul. That's how you know. You know. That's how you know. You know. When the sunlight sank, it edges back to 45 degrees, and it all looks so cold. That's when the magic happens in your mind and everywhere outside. Let it all take hold.
must say again, wow.
Thank you.
You know, in that particular piece, I almost felt like I should be on the streets of like Tombstone, Arizona, you know, with my 6-gun on my side.
Wild
and-
West.
Yes, that's what I
Wow.
get, you know, wild herb, that kind of thing.
Nice. I'll take it.
But, for those of you who didn't hear us when we started, it is my privilege to be in the studio right now with Liz Wiegard,
Thank you.
otherwise known as Knife Girl. That is such a cool name. How did that evolve?
Well, I used to perform under my real name, Liz. But it kind of, I don't know, I kind of wanted to go in a different direction musically, and I feel like my very German name didn't quite lend itself to, I don't know, maybe the harder, more electric-ish sound that I was going after, so I needed something that sounded tough and kind of memorable that, you know, stick in your ear. And I don't know, it's going to sound weird, but I always had a weird thing with knives, like not in a scary way, but I just always like appreciated them. They're handy to have around.
Thank you for explaining that.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like a little collection of knives, and I just thought that would be, I don't know, a name that would make me sound a little tougher, a little, I don't know, cooler.
I'm believing you. I'm listening. I'm here believing you. Now, from where do you derive your music?
I kind of pick and choose influences from everything, I don't know, across the gambit. Vocally, I'm definitely hugely influenced by older Motown people. Otis Redding, Stevie Wonder is a big one. In more contemporary terms, Beyonce definitely.
I can hear a little bit of that. I heard a little bit of all that kind of just blended together.
Cool.
And you're from St. Louis, Missouri.
Yes, correct.
As far as food is concerned, that would be one of my more favorite places in the world.
If you ever need recommendations for places to go,
You and I will talk after this.
yes.
And it will be a very serious conversation
Yes.
about food. Now,
Great food city for sure.
oh, for real, for real. You have this electronic sound to you, and I'm looking at all the stuff. You have a board down there that looks like it belongs on the Starship Enterprise. But you make it all work together, and I just love the sound that it creates. It's mellow, but it's also very intense.
Thank you.
You have a future. Tell me, where can our audience find you?
I think the place I'm most active would be Instagram, so you can find me. It's at knife_girl_official. I'm also on Facebook. Just search Knife Girl, Twitter, Knife Girl, Spotify, SoundCloud, all that jazz. Just search Knife Girl and you'll find me. I'm the one with like the weird colored hair. It's pink or purple or something.
Is that how it would define your hair? This pink purple.
Sure. Well, it depends on how old the picture is. I was purple before and now I'm pink.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
But it's your style and music that keeps making itself very, very well noticed. I wish
you.
all the greatest for you. I don't see anything, how do you say, not happening over time for you, because you're still in the process of developing your sound.
Well, yeah, a little bit.
But it just sounded so nice.
Thank you.
I thank you for being here with us today on College Radio Day 2018, here from the campus of Long Beach City College in the studio of KLBC. And I believe also simulcasted on our sister station, also here on campus, kcty.org. In the meantime, thank you very, very much, and I hope we get a chance sometime in the future where you get to come back with us.
Well, for sure.
And even if it's not me, we will enjoy your presence Okay?
Thank you.
Allow me also to say that when all else fails, college radio speaks. And the one thing we pride ourselves here on at KCTY is the ability to bring to you new music. Just like you just heard Liz Weigard. I think I'm just going to call her Knife Girl. But we pride ourselves on bringing, even during our regular shows, new music. Artists you may not have heard. They're all local artists. I know that you're from St. Louis, Missouri. You're not quite there now.
No.
But where are you from now? Where do you...
I live in Studio City, so it was a little bit of a drive, but it was worth it because this is always fun.
You're a Valley girl.
Sort of.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Liz. And you have an outstanding day for your music. In the meantime, coming up next is an artist that we can call T Lost, or in other words, we can also call him Tyler Stokely. He is a rapper who brings the best of himself to the stage, and I very much hope that you get to enjoy him. Not hope to get, you will enjoy him. He has a unique presentation, and he will bring this to you here on College Radio on KLBC from the campus of Long Beach City College.
Yo, 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 I am T Lost, and these are my raps. They are not crap. And if you think they are bad, then you are wrong. I'm dying inside. Hey, yeah, hey, ooh, okay, yeah, hey. Shout out Donald Loops. My name is T Lost. Hey. I'm on my label and not feeling free. Getting attention and that's when you plead. Acting like you in the industry. Gun on my wishes like you didn't to me, but that's not the case, B. You're the contract thing that I read. I'm my brother's down, thank you with sleaze. You should not breed. Get on my face. Stop it all this, I call it a breeze. Y'all call me fake, but I can be real. Rap less than Jake, and that's my appeal. The roast are my mistake, but then I may ask, oh, what have you made? You'll never see the fame that T-Lost sees. Can't y'all see y'all trying to imitate me? But y'all ain't never gonna break me, cause y'all just lost the forces of love. I don't know what's up. Your girl always trying to get me. They say I am cheap, they say that I reek, but all I know is me. The forces of love, I don't know what's up. Your girl always trying to get me. They say I am cheap, they say that I reek, but all I know is me.
Girl, come through and let's do what we do. Out in the shine when I'm gone. And let's do what we do. Out in the shine. Girl, come
Blue, just for you. This ain't poo in your imagination, but I've gone exposed you. This is poo that's all over the nation. Making moves and I'm getting money, but sometimes I just do not feel sunny because I do not have $1 billion and I'm not someone you can call a scholar. And these may seem like tiny things, but I gotta make them look like mighty things. Because if you can't relate, then why even bother? I kinda get your money if you started feeling calmer. This is all part of the game. Manipulate feelings is all in the name of higher forces that I cannot control, and making you sad is their primary goal. I know this ain't linked like my other songs are, but keep it in mind like a Kendrick Lamar. What they wanna do to your fragile mind, and that's what I wrote. Please do not be blind. Blue, just for you. This ain't poo in your imagination, but I've gone exposed you. This is poo blue, that's all over the nation. I am blue just for you. This ain't poo in your imagination, but I've gone exposed you. This is poo, that's all over the nation.
When I'm gone, show me.
Hey. That's right, we're back again. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy T Lost. We about to bring out some real fire moves. So get your arms pumped and dance with a groove. Now crouch, crouch, crouch as low as you can. Now give me that favor, no mistake, no scam. Beats we drop with no middleman. So let's just get down to this jam. Yo, I wanna make some money, so I make a dance move. Make it easy to recreate so that everybody grooves. And I like to add a catchy melody and some beats too, so that everybody dances and they got T Lost flu. Crouch, crouch, crouch as low as you can. Now give me that favor, no this ain't a scam. Beats we drop with no middleman. So let's just get down to this jam. The beat is tight and the air is light, and y'all be dancing with a black or white. Looking at the audience is such a sight, and y'all keep dancing till the end of the night. Crouch, crouch, crouch as low as you can. Give me that favor, no this ain't a scam. Beats we drop with no middleman. I'm rolling in and out cause y'all are hypnotized. The monopoly money has materialized. Gonna get back in the share made of only hard money. So don't try to diss me, it's dangerous, honey. Crouch, crouch, crouch as low as you can. Give me that favor, no this ain't a scam. Beats we drop with no middleman. Let's just get down to this jam. Crouch, crouch, crouch as low as you can. Give me that favor, no this ain't a scam. Beats we drop with no middleman. So let's just get down to this jam, yo. Hey.
Mama, please let me cuss. I really, really wanna cuss. Mom, please let me cuss. I promise it'll benefit. Mommy, please let me cuss. I really just wanna say one word. Mommy, please let me cuss. All I really wanna say is, man, I really wanna cuss and I don't like that. You're really, really making me go behind in my class. My teacher wants me to cuss and I can't cuss. Cause you're making me not cuss. You told me not to cuss. You told me it's bad. You told me I'm gonna get in trouble for it. Man, I'm really not appreciating this. Cause I mean, if you don't want me to pass, then I can understand that. But I'm just trying to get through. My teacher wants me to say, just work with me, okay? Come on. Mommy, please let me cuss. I really just wanna make it happen. Mommy, please let me cuss. I really wanna cuss. Mommy, please let me cuss. My teacher wants me to say a bad word. Mommy, please let me cuss. Please, mama. Just let me cuss.
Ooh, big head on the beat.
I play Roblox and like oof, better than you when I have all the proof. Like anime me and go on the roof. Will always love me even if I goof. Yeah, that's cause I really don't care. Unless without consent, you're just my hair. Oh my god, hey, huh, yeah, hey. Hopping on Borderlands, ready to kill. Whoopin' boy Zion, but he got no skill. You thought it'd be Fortnite, but that is whack. If you post your weight, you will never see racks. But anyway, kill it, level 13. Jump behind boxes and shoot his routine. Dying, reviving, and it is on loop. I'm doing good, it's like a ball in a hoop. Get that iridium, get that iridium. That stuff is low-key just uses it. Now I ain't played this when I was legit, but it's been a week, I'm already the. For that XP, I will grind. Gearbox, I hope that you find. Give me all free advertising, nothing to check. I just told me I will consider upgrading my specs. Ooh, I play Roblox and like oof. Better than you when I have all the proof. Like anime being or girl on the roof. Will always love me even if I goof. Yeah, that's cause I really don't care. Unless without consent, you just my hair. For real, it's not hard, just ask me the question. T-Loss just let me out, did you a lesson? Ooh, I play Roblox and like oof. Better than you when I have all the proof. Like anime being or girl on the roof. Will always love me even if I goof. That's cause I really don't care. Unless without consent, you just my hair. For real, it's not hard, just ask me the question. T-Loss just let me out, did you a lesson? Ooh. Oh my god. Rolling up in an ice cream truck, all the kids run up with their wads of bucks. Yeah, we're rolling up in an ice cream truck, all the kids run up with their wads of bucks. Yeah, we're rolling up in an ice cream truck, all the kids run up with their wads of bucks. So on the ice cause the beat is so gritty. You better watch out, I might come to your city. Yeah, pet on your kitty and you give me pity. Cause you know I am the opposite of pretty. My rhymes are witty and my beats are litty. And my music wouldn't press it like to tribute. But homie, ignore me, so these are my ditties. I just cannot wait to sign my man on breast. He lost my man, this is a clap for the rest. All y'all did was rap and I'll give me stress. But I have been blessed with lungs in my chest. So I can keep rapping with no need to rest. Taking those sauces not make me depressed. Cause eventually those big wigs will invest. And you will see me as I'm judging your label. Cause with all my effort, I know I'll be able. Rolling up in an ice cream truck, all the kids run up with their wads of bucks. Yeah, we're rolling up in an ice cream truck, all the kids run up with their wads of bucks. Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car, pull up in the Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car. They call me a riff cause I'm going far, I cannot wait for my Hollywood fame star. Call me JoJo cause I'm bizarre, I be trying to buy drink for everyone in the bar. I'm 9+10 cause I'm a savage. Maybe I might around a cabbage. And sometimes I like to patrol a bad. Call me bling bling boy because I'm rich. I don't know man. Pull up in the van, LAX to Japan. In anime, say hi to D-Bangs. Go up to Venice, skate around and he sang Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car, pull up in the Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car.
I got some Mercedes, then I got me a Thanos whip. And I f my haters, but she made me pay to hit. Put me like tornado wind, her shake like Haiti did. When that earthquake hit, remember in 08. Smoking on the Thanos spin, slash that shit that's very strong. My math homework like my really hard and very long. Saw a girl who's pretty fine, and this was my pickup line. You and I are gonna die, let's us so we're alive. I got that bitch on her knees, remind me of Kaepernick. Fighting over me, remind me of Michael Vick. Now I'm sitting in shotgun, you know T-Loss driving in. Malu in the backseat, pull up to the
Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car, pull up in the Thanos car, I pull up in the Thanos car.
And Tyler, what is it about Tyler? What is it about him? So expound on that. What is it about you that attracts people?
I think I'm just gonna get the elephant out of the room right now.
Okay.
It's probably the hair for most of it. But the other like 20% maybe is like my rapping and lyrics and everything. And I'm hoping some people can just I'm hoping eventually people in Long Beach are gonna start saying, I love your music instead of I love your hair.
Well, I mean, you can't separate the two.
It's true.
And can you expound a little bit on your lyrics and what audience is targeted with your lyrics?
I mean, besides people who just enjoy like satirical stuff and like humorous stuff, I'm not really sure if I have like an audience in mind yet. I guess a general Gen Z person, preferably living in SoCal so they can go to my shows. I should probably figure that out.
So your inspiration to get out and express yourself is, where's the motivation? Where's the motivation coming from?
I just love putting myself out there. It's honestly just really fun to just perform and like.
I can see that.
Yeah.
So do you have any other projects you're working on right now that we might,
Right now, all I have out like in terms of like multiple songs is just the one EP, I Don't Care, available now.
Okay.
But I'm working on like a bigger joke album and then a serious album.
Absolutely, absolutely. So when do you plan on going on the road or entertaining in the arenas?
I've been wanting to for a long time now, but it's crazy because I had a fan who lives, I think, in like West Virginia or something, and he was trying to fly me out to do a show, just like at some venue, and then my mom was like, "You can't go because your grades are too low."
Oh wow! How can your fans follow you, and who are your biggest fans? Give me an age group.
According to Instagram, about 18 to 24.
18 to 24. Okay, I see that.
If we're talking biggest fans, if I can do name drop, shout out Nika 2, shout out Zaptiox. I don't know. But you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at TL0ST and Instagram at Lil T Lost. So,
is there anything that you'd like to add with upcoming events? Who you'll be working with, who you aspire to work with in the rap world or in the hip hop world?
I don't know, maybe Machine Gun Kelly or something.
Machine Gun Kelly, gotcha. And good luck in your future endeavors, which I'm sure you'll do quite well.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
Shout out Jonah Loops.
Again, Tyler Stokely, look out, he's here.
T Lost. All right.
Hello out there. This is Scotty B, and I'd like to introduce to you our next musical guest, Valdivia X. They are in the studio right now.
Hi, everybody.
Yes, that was Diana Perkins.
Yes.
And we have another member of the band here. Goes by Chucha de la Muerte.
Correct.
Yes.
Hello.
Man, a few words. Well, we welcome you to the studio and College Radio Day 2018. We are very happy to have you here.
Thank you.
We would love to start off by knowing about this band name, Valdivia X. How did that name come about?
Actually, it was taken from a friend who was a guitar teacher, and it was just merely a case. I just loved that last name. I thought it rolled, it had good groove. And so, let's name the band after that. So it's just as simple as that.
Okay. So Valdivia was already taken, or so I was told. Was the X some denomination that means something as well after the fact?
There was an original incarnation, and for a variety of reasons, that particular configuration didn't work out, so we moved on to the next generation of that, which was Valdivia X.
Very nice. Okay. And so your music that you play, I mean, obviously we have all of our listeners can actually see what's going on right now as well. We're live streaming. Chucho de la Muerte is your stage name. How did that name come about?
Again, just picked it clear out of the air. I just liked the groove, the sound, the rhythm on it, and used it.
Wonderful. And Diana, you go by Kage as your stage name. You don't look like Kage right now, but I've seen some of your videos, and I'd say it would be synonymous with a Japanese geisha.
That's right. It's actually a kabuki motif, and I've got a poster, a little postcard picture that shows what I dress up in, and we're giving these out too.
Beautiful.
But anyway, Kage is shadow in Japanese, and the original idea when I first met this man here, it was Valdivia, not X, but it was Valdivia, and that thing is picking up the mic, by the way. It's Darth Vader. No, it's
I
not
just
Darth
noticed
Vader.
those fans in there. That's amazing.
I
That's how
was
you stay
like,
cool. I was
what is
wondering.
that?
Yes,
So-
one must have oxygen.
So when I first, we were friends. When I first saw his band, I was like, well, I got to get involved somehow and help them manage or something. Because I used to manage bands also in the past. And I got really excited. When I get excited about somebody, I get, behind it. And I'm like, let me try to get some gigs and manage some of your, promote you a little bit. And then we got to talking a little bit more. And I'm a musician for a number of years, drummer and vocalist. And he goes, well, why don't you just play? And so I became part of the band at that point.
Me? Oh, I
Yes.
was too.
So that's
I'm with
that's how Kage, the character Kage is Shadow originally.
What do you want to
And I was gonna be on stage and kind of walk around with a light, dressed in black, kind of ninja-ish, and walk around with a light because oftentimes this hat would cover his face.
Yeah, I've noticed that with some of the face
Yeah.
makeup too, in the videos I've seen.
would cover it up.
Yeah, the shadow effect.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's purposeful in its intent
It's
and
kind
execution.
it's kind of creepy. But I wanted to move around and have some motion up on stage, and then shine the light, and so that the hat wouldn't cover everything. And so that was the original idea. And then we thought, Shadow, Kage, let's make the character Kage.
That's wonderful. I mean, I love hearing stories like that. Backstories. There's always something to learn from that. So you guys both play instruments as well during your live shows, and one I watched was with Jammin' Live in 2015. That was a very amazing concert, and I saw Kage on the drums.
Yes,
And I saw Chucho de la Muerte here on guitar.
that's right.
Okay. So you guys exclusively play those instruments for your performances and recordings?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
we do. We just added on a really fantastic bass player.
Okay.
So
Yes.
We should introduce. He's not here in the studio with
No,
us.
he's not.
No, he's not.
But that really enhances our sound
Yeah.
immensely. So.
And he plays with some very, very high-end people and top-notch acts, and so we're blessed to have him. His name is Bob Burns.
Bob Burns, the bassist.
Yes.
Yes.
It's got a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it
Rolls
does.
off the tongue.
Yes.
You guys brought in some videos for us to show. Should we get the first one here? Do you want to set it up and let the viewers know what the backstory is on it?
The first part of the video is our session here as featured act. Excuse me?
terminate it? She wants to turn the laptop in.
Oh, that's right. Okay. I'm sorry. Jammin' Live 2015. And Judy Baker is so nice and invited us to play for that. And that was our first kind of presentation with Chucho on more of the Day of the Dead motif. So that's a little bit different. I'm kind of similar, still the same.
Okay.
But this is the footage and then we kind of edited a nice promotional video out of the deal. So some of our artwork, his artwork is included in this piece.
Okay, let's go ahead and play it back now.
Here we go. hear it okay? Can you hear it? Are you hearing it?
Wow, that was amazing. a lot of beautiful art. First, foremost, I noticed, and just beautiful videos of you guys performing live. I could watch that over and over again.
Thank you. That's the whole idea.
I love it. So the art, I'm actually really curious because on your website, on your album art, promotions, advertisements,
Yes.
Who's the one that did all that? Oh, this gentleman to my left
Chicho.
here.
Yes.
Wow, that is beautiful. Well done. Well done. It really sets the stage for what you guys are doing. And because your type of music is a form of rock surrealism and performance art kind of combined.
Yes.
So the visuals are just as important as the auditory.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, so in terms of what we just saw there, would you like to discuss kind of some of the what events that was pulled from and set us up on that?
Sure. What we just saw was from Jammin' Live 2015, and the next video is from Soundwave 2017, which is a different rendition, different form of Chucho.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another video that's an outtake video that's kind of a humorous thing. We have a sense of humor too. It's not all dreary, dark and serious.
I can tell. There's
So-
definitely humor involved. I mean, I saw
Definitely.
mannequins on stage.
Yes.
I'd love to hear that as well.
Oh, that's
How
the
that
other
came
thing.
about.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That's his creation too, of course. And go ahead.
Again, was just jogging down at the beach and saw this decapitated mannequin in the trash, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to take that and apply some color to it and some texture, and then bring it into this thing we call Valdivia X.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually worked on that. I did go to school for graphic design, so a lot of what you're seeing is from years of
honing your skills
of working it out, and then actually getting an education in it. So yeah, it was just pulled out of the trash and then painted.
Saving mannequins one at a time. I like it.
Yeah.
They do not belong in the landfill, so that's good to hear.
Yes.
So we have another video as well to set up here. Should we continue?
Yes, we do. I just have kind of a humor outtake video. We were kind of doing a test shoot of the new character, which is the character before this rendition here, which is the gas mask
Ooh.
kind of post-apocalyptic kind of character.
Love to see that.
And that's in the next video too. But we were doing a test shoot, and it's just kind of a fun little. The music in the background is a song called Termino, actually, and we just wanted to play around with it. And I says, I have enough fun footage to make a real quick video, so I'm going to play that now.
Yes, we can't wait to see it.
And the thing about this is you get to see a lot of the costume, the second costume that Chucho has. So here goes. Here we go. Yeah, that's a kind of an outtake, goofy little, fun little thing that I thought I'd put together.
Thoroughly enjoyed that. It's the production value is amazing. Who's your director? Do you guys work with a video team, a videography team at all, or
just us two?
Wow.
It's basically her. She's really good at video.
Wow.
I have been a member of
editing,
PadNet too, the Public Access Digital Network before, and had a little show and worked the camera. Like that, and it's a lot of fun to me too. So I do my little editing, and it's just a fun little thing that I can contribute to the thing. So it's all self-contained right now. It's a do-it-yourself type world, and we're doing it ourselves.
I love it. I love what I see. So, Mr. Muerte, if you don't mind me addressing you that way. So this gas mask, what was the inspiration for that previous incarnation of you?
I have to say I was born and raised in Southern California, and we have to realize that Southern California was very much like Monterey and Carmel. Really quite beautiful. And in short order, we have managed to convert it into a massive consumer reality, along with, well over 1 million cars every day and all the related industry that goes with it. And I think it's basically a commentary on, I think, a society that is really neglected to see the beauty in clean air, in maintaining the natural environment that we've managed to cement over here in Long Beach and Los Angeles. So it's basically a comment on that.
I see. So all your music has a takeaway message.
To a certain extent, yes. And at the same time, as you kind of grapple with these issues that are somewhat disturbing, if not profoundly disturbing, really can't take any of it too seriously. I think there's an Oscar Wilde quote that says that life is far too important to take too seriously. So got to kind of keep this thing in a manageable kind of reality about not getting too bogged down in the negative reality of living in Los Angeles, and really take some time to kind of laugh and goof on yourself about all of it.
That's some wonderful advice that everyone needs to hear.
Yes.
Yeah, stop and smell the roses more.
Yes, we are mentors.
That's wonderful to hear. So I actually want to jump into this before we play the next video. Your inspirations musically. What would you say you guys, where did you get your inspirations from? Was it from certain groups of certain genres of music, or you guys are very different? It's a mishmash of many things, I can tell.
Yes, it is. It's hard to peg us. We've been compared to 9 Inch Nails, Garbage, Black Sabbath. with a dash of screaming Jay Hawkins, that kind of thing, you know?
Wow.
And so it's kind of a fusion of a number of genres, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Dark wave rock pop is kind of where it falls into, and you can explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I think for me, I think probably in about 1965, I saw a public PBS show with Muddy Waters, and I was just this kid watching this, and it blew me away. The way he played, the way he vocalized, it just shot me through the top of the house. You know, it was profound for me, and found an old guitar in the garage that was sitting there and just started playing ever since. At the same time, then came around Jimi Hendrix. And my goodness, didn't that man blow all of our minds?
Oh, yeah.
Throw on top of that the Chambers Brothers, then blues guys like Howlin' Wolf. So I would say much of what we do is definitely inspired from the blues, and I would say pretty much rock and roll is definitely inspired, if not based on the foundation of blues.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time progresses and we have sequencers and computers and all these things that we enjoy in this studio, I see it as just being another tool, another guitar, another thing to integrate into our sound and our music, again, based off the blues.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, rock and roll did save radio, right? After TV came out, it brought back radio, and you guys are kind of doing the roundabout method. You got the visual art representation,
Yes.
and now you're bringing back TV with rock and roll. So that's interesting dichotomy there.
Right. When MTV came along, it switched dramatically. You needed to have visual at that point, you know?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So we've got a third performance coming up here. We'd love to show.
Yes. This is from Soundwave 2017, and this was a lot of fun to do with the new character, with the gas mask character. And let's check this out. There it is. So that was the second portion of the
Wow.
video. Yeah.
I did notice on the mannequin there's a smoke machine. I meant to bring that up in the last video, but is that there because it's like, where else do we put it? And this mannequin needs a head. Is that was the thought process, Mr. Muerte?
Again, you know, it's like you're presented with all these different types of things laying around. Friend just gave that to me some years back. And okay, I got this mannequin, I got this smoke machine. What would be a creative way of incorporating that into what we do? And so, yes, I put the smoke machine on top of its neck, and it became Misty.
That is a beautiful juxtaposition, I'd say, of both subjects.
Yes.
And then the art backdrop, was that also of your doing?
Yes, it's done in Illustrator. Made it some time back. Yeah.
Wow, that was amazing. You guys have amazing performances. Can't take my eyes off of it. I love the sound. I love the visuals. It pairs so well together for your genre of music.
Well, you should indeed come to our show tomorrow night.
Yes, there is upcoming performances here. Would you like to plug them, please?
Yes.
Yes, we'll be playing at D Piazza's tomorrow night, starting at 8 o'clock. So, yeah, if you're having fun with what you're seeing here today, come on down and check out our show. We'll definitely give you some entertainment and fun.
Yes.
That's wonderful to hear. And there's also some possible upcoming tours. Do you guys want to discuss that, or is it too premature now?
We want to put it out there because that's how things materialize and manifest for me. We eventually, you know, the Finding America tour is kind of just a conceptual ongoing, not this year, next year, but just ongoing. Where is this country? So that's kind of the idea is we have a song called Can't Seem to Find America, which is I think it's a wonderful single.
We might actually hear it because we're going to play their new album, which we're going to discuss here in a moment.
Yes. So, yeah, I would love to have that played because that is probably one of the flagship songs and it's very, very, very pertinent now. And it's really important. To get that out there because there's just too much apathy going on, and we need to stir people up. And this is
more
one
empathy.
way to do it.
More
right?
empathy is needed.
Yeah,
in this world,
empathy
sure.
and less apathy.
There you go. More empathy, less apathy.
Yeah. So that's yeah. So that's one song that we would definitely like to have played from the EP that we have, and that'll be available as a download card. That is also a sticker, a really cool sticker, at the show tomorrow night. And we got some people coming to that thing, so we're really, really happy about that.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, and then we just had, this is our second show with our bass player. Oh, what a godsend. That's so good. It just sounds so much fuller now.
Yes, all the bassists out there, come on out.
Yes, right. Check this guy out.
So this, the Find America Tour 2018, this is affiliated with South by Southwest.
It's actually something that was inspired by going to South by Southwest. We did an unofficial appearance for South by Southwest last March. That was great. That town, that city just turns upside down for this event all week. And it's not just music, film, you know, it's like a TED Talk type event too, TED event. And so we were really, really impressed with that. We put in for the official South by Southwest this year, this coming
Crossing
March.
fingers.
Crossing fingers. And also for the NAMM show, see if we can get something for the NAMM show in January. Maybe we're a little bit off kilter for NAMM, but we'll try. You know, why not, right?
Yeah, shoot for the moon.
And then, you know, we'd eventually like to do some clusters of shows like in the Midwest or something where the major cities, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, you know, Indianapolis, all those cities are within 3 hours of each other. And they're major metropolitan areas. So we could hit a lot of cities, but out west it's a little bit more desert in between cities and, you know, this kind of thing, right? Mountains and deserts. And so there's more, and there's different, you could cross 4 or 5 different states within a short time period too. So there was this kind of idea that Bob, our bass player, is from Chicago, and I've got family in Ohio, so there's, you know, people with their ears open as to what is possible. And so we want to try to do a 6 or 7 city tour in the Midwest at some point in 2019.
Wow, you heard it here, folks, first.
That's right.
Valdivia X
so
on
put
tour.
It out there.
That's wonderful to hear. I mean, can't wait to see you guys performing live. Everyone come out to D Piazza's tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
Yes.
So there's also a new album that was released. You got 5 tracks on there?
Yes, we have a 5-track EP called VX1.
Okay, and we actually have that here to play. Let's see what music we got, and you can set us up on one of the tracks, and we'll play it.
Okay, wonderful.
While we're getting that set up here, actually, let's discuss your album a little bit more. So VX1, that sounds like your initials, Valdivia X.
Yes.
Is the one supposed to signify your first album release in a sense, or is there another meaning behind that?
Yep, it's as basic as that.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah. So, yeah, VX1. And there was some debate as to whether to change the name again to VX or something, right? Or some kind of thing to make it easier for people to say, because people have trouble with pronouncing it. You know, Valdivia is kind of a mouthful for some folks. And so we were going, maybe we'll simplify it, but we don't know about that. But the album name is VX1. Make it simple, you know?
Yes.
So.
And then each of your song titles on there, can you talk about them a little bit more and let us know how they came about, the song names?
Okay. What's some of the songs that we want to play is Jackhammer Man is one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I would have to say, again, this song is definitely very much taken from the blues genre and basically talking about the pangs of love and dysfunctional love to boot.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be the basic background on that song.
Should we play that one first? I got it queued up here.
Yes.
You can.
All right.
Let's do that one.
Let's play Jackhammer Man by Valdivia X. Hi, we're back here. That was Jackhammer Man by Valdivia X. We've got a few other songs on here as well. And we have, what would you guys like to set up next here?
I think
We have Termino.
I think Termino is probably a good one to do now.
Okay, do you have a little story to tell about that? How that song title and music came about?
Again, a response to the everyday situation of living here. Diana, I spent a lot of time at Diana's because we're continuously rehearsing and creating music at her house. And it's on, the basic area of 7th and Alamitos. And I would have to say the neighborhood and that side of town is going through some dire social, cultural upheaval. There's a significant heroin addiction problem, methamphetamine problem. There's prostitution on an ongoing level. And sometimes I'll just sit out in front of the house and watch this parade of people go by who are really having a difficult time emotionally and psychologically, and also dealing with their addictions. And because of it, as a result, there's also a large amount of homeless people in the area. And this song kind of comments on the state of that reality. At the same time, I really want to have compassion for the fellow people that I see out there and that are struggling with all of this. And in the wealthiest nation in the world, that we would have such a dichotomous reality in the city of Long Beach is often quite baffling to me, and I don't really understand why it should be taking place or is taking place. Hence, it gets back to apathy and perhaps a lack of empathy. And I guess ultimately, as I'm talking here, I have to check that within myself.
We all do.
It's the eternal struggle, especially now as things become more and more dichotomous between who has access to housing, food, education. Then you see other parts of the city that absolutely don't. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with it? And it seems like right now we're really not wanting to or have the capability of dealing with it. The song is pretty much a commentary on that state of reality.
Wow, that's a great way to set this one up. And next, we're going to play Termino by Valdivia X.
Domino. Domino.
That was Termino by Valdivia X. And while we were off the air, we were discussing the song a little bit more, as well as the business side of music. Because we are playing these on Spotify right now. They're their latest album, which you can listen to as well. Look up Valdivia X on Spotify, and their playlist will be there for you to stream. So, Mr. Muerte and Diana,
Yes.
what are your feelings about the business side of music and where it's going with online streaming and the physical media is kind of disappearing? Artists being paid, I mean, the whole 9 yards. Let's talk about it.
You can go.
I think in one hand, it's, again, as I had mentioned, there's a certain amount of liberation that goes with that, being able to be heard just about anywhere on the planet. And what these platforms provide is a means to do so. So I think in that respect, it's definitely an asset. However, I understand that many of the artists, compared to the money that is generated by groups like Spotify or Apple, which I believe Spotify is worth about $8 billion at this time. And the rumor is that very little, if any, of the income generated from all of this goes to the artists. So there's a lot of controversy about that and a lot of broken hearts about that, to say the least. How do we proceed? How do we go about dealing with it? It seems to me Spotify could be a little bit more generous about paying and sustaining the very people that keep them afloat. It seems a bit, how would I say, definitely.
I was going to say corporate America.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, corporate.
Yeah, I would say it definitely seems exploitive, and it definitely seems like it's very short-sighted, because in fact what will happen is that if the artists are not paid, if they cannot go on with their art, then what happens to Spotify, right? They will not be able to have the artists to maintain and create what they've created. So there needs to be, I think, a stronger financial relationship between the artist and things like Spotify or Apple. We're talking about multi-billion-dollar agencies, and I think the artists need to get paid appropriately.
I very much agree.
Yeah.
Diana, do you have anything to add to that?
I'm always curious how people find their playlist music, like for yourself even. Like, how do you find bands yourself? Do you go on Spotify or Pandora, or how do you do it?
Personally, I've got SiriusXM subscription, so I'm always listening to, because it's genre-based, and I like that because I can listen to whatever decades I want, or if I want to listen to, I'm very much into EDM, electronic dance music, and tropical house. So I'm always listening to stations like that, and they've got a segment called BPM Breaker, which is how they discuss latest music. Unfortunately, for us, we don't. All the major broadcasting stations keep playing top 40s on repeat, right? And that's all we get, and we're spoon-fed that. So it's like the top 1% is always making all the money in any industry for that reason. It's unfortunate, but that's why college radio exists. Like KLBC and KCTY, we do play the newest stuff, and we're very happy to do that and give exposure to the little person, because you just never know what happens next. And honestly, everyone deserves a chance.
Yes, college radio is probably going to save music in a lot
Very
of ways.
much so,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for who's the founder? I can't pronounce his name. From the UK that founded College Radio.
Oh gosh, yeah, I wish I knew.
I'm like, thank you.
Yes, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Now it's global, so it's nice that that's solid. So grassroots type of broadcasting is alive.
Yes, very much so. I do have something to add with the business side. I feel like the artists, they really should get paid what they deserve, and I think it's one of those chicken and the egg scenarios in a lot of these types of industries where there's profit sharing in essence, because how do you keep track? Who's your front runner in essence? Like that's why we have unions, and they, I mean, say what we like about a union, but they exist to protect us. I mean, there's dues and stuff like that. It's homeowners pay HOAs and stuff like that now, so there's always fees involved with everything. But unions fight the good fight, and especially needed for artists. I don't think there's one like that. But on the other hand, with Spotify and other streaming platforms, they don't have. This is a new form of medium for broadcasting. I mean, online streaming. I mean, even what we're doing right now, we're inside of a radio studio, but anyone with a few $100s can buy a podcasting kit and do the same thing and stream on various platforms. True. With very similar quality. So it's kind of like the lines are blurred a bit, and it's been really tough to figure out those lines, I think. And like anything, and regulation follows in time. So
the other thing, though, too, is that groups like Spotify, have this massive server network that the ordinary podcaster really doesn't have access to. So in a lot of ways, it's kind of getting back to where again you have this minute corporate elite at the top generating massive income, and again not dispensing it to the very people that are creating it. And I think even too back in the old days, a lot of people were complaining about the same thing, at much disservice, I think, to the artist. So again, we have to filter through that. At the same time, I think Spotify definitely provides a significant service to the artist. And that on the other hand, you got to pay the guys. You got to pay the guys and girls that are creating it,
Yeah.
So there's things to be discussed and hashed out here.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're talking
Very
about this
true.
because
It's
it starts with us
Yeah, it
bringing up
does.
these concerns.
Yeah, it does. And the other thing is we're going to be busking as well. So
Oh,
we got
okay.
a little compact busking setup, and I have to figure out my drum setup, acoustic drum setup or something. But that's another thing that's experiencing resurgence because people are taking it to the street more, direct to the consumer or the person walking by.
Yeah.
And that seems to be kind of a trend, in my opinion, and a necessary one because now we're just connected to our devices and we're just kind of these little capsules walking around. And so there's not a lot of, what is that?
I don't know, but I like it.
Whatever that is really cool.
Okay, excuse
Can we
us.
steal that?
Where did
Yeah.
What is that? Is that my phone?
Oh, no, we're fine.
It's my phone.
You guys heard it here first. We ended up, that was off the latest album, VX2.
It's my phone just automatically started playing that. I gotta
so
find that.
eclectic.
Gosh.
So,
yeah.
Getting back to the busking, getting direct. Speaking of device, but going direct with consumer public, and putting it out there. It's a human-to-human experience now instead of this kind of remote experience. That's electronic. So I think it's important that we get back to that kind of
like
more
the human
organic kind
connection.
of way
Yeah.
that people are inspired and they get turned on to things that way. I mean, it's always just nicer to firsthand feel that energy, of a performance. And so we're kind of, we could watch a nice slick DVD on a big screen at home and watch the concert. It's different.
No doubt that's really cool. But we found that when we do go out, there's definitely significant engagement with Chucho and the other characters that we have. So on the one hand, this one-on-one human exchange that takes place is deeply engaging. And then on the other hand, where you theoretically have access to billions of people, I think a lot of times what happens with that scenario is that you get lost in the wash.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of finding that even just getting out on the street is definitely more productive for us in terms of engaging with a live audience in front of us that are just having fun with what we're doing. So we're trying to maneuver through all of this.
It's about total communication, really.
Yeah.
You know, the whole
Through
thing.
all avenues. Yeah. So does that mean we're going to see Valdivia X on Santa Monica Pier very soon?
Hopefully,
That
yes.
would be fun.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I got to look at all the rules and regulations
Yeah.
in Long Beach and Venice Beach.
And there's
this
a
kind of
lot.
thing. There is, yes.
Yeah.
So we got to figure that out. But we will be out there with our portable units, and hopefully, people they will stop.
Yeah.
They see us and they always stop.
That will get their attention. Visuals. That's really important to add the visual element. People
Yes.
are humans are visual creatures. You see.
Yes.
You see someone and you're like, that's different than what I'm used to. They'll be attracted to that. If anything but curiosity.
Yes.
And then you draw them in with the music. So it's a
Right.
perfect setup.
Oftentimes we see first, then we hear. It's that kind of thing. So we're looking forward to that. We're doing
So we have time for one more song. Shall we pick one off your album and then we'll tease them with the last two and they'll have to buy it to hear the rest.
That sounds great. I definitely want us to hear Can't Seem to Find America.
Okay, next up.
Which is the flagship, the main single that is so necessary. This song is so necessary right now, and it's just musically and lyrically just really, really, really important to get that out there now.
Okay,
Yes.
you guys heard it here. Can't Seem to Find America by Valdivia X.
We're looking.
How's my hair? Is it-
That was Can't Seem to Find America by Valdivia X.
Yes.
Yes, and we were just discussing this before we came back on air. It's almost like we are living here in America, but yet we don't see America. Like we don't. What are we doing?
It's not supposed to be like this. Is all I know.
Yes, exactly.
There used to be some semblance of cohesion. There used to be a sense of interactivity between all the various opposing parts. And now it seems it's a very divided situation right now. That's actually becoming more and more dangerous as the days wear on. So this song is basically commenting on that state of reality that we're trying to deal with, or lack thereof reality.
Wow, this is why we love Valdivia X here in the studio. Their music speaks volumes to the messages they're trying to portray. Even if you're not a fan of rock or anything along those lines, you still could learn a thing or two from this song.
Thank you.
That's wonderful to hear. And with that, we thank Valdivia X for being here with us today. Please let us know where to find you offline and online so that we may learn more about you.
We are valdiviax.com. That's our main official website, so visit that. We got soundcloud.com/valdiviax. We're on Facebook. We have Bandcamp. We have a Reverb Nation site. There's probably one more that I'm forgetting, but our CDs are on CD Baby, of course, too. And you can buy our CD via our website as well, or Bandcamp. And we would love to have people chime in and write to us and subscribe, that sort of thing. So for right now, come to our show. That's all I can say for tomorrow at D Piazza's at 8 o'clock, sharp, 8 to 8:45. We're playing a set at D Piazza's local institution of a venue. So
They have wonderful Italian food as well.
yes, they do. Thank you.
Can't wait to see you guys again. Thank you so much for being here. And next up, we have Jimmy Dale in the studio. And with that said, here we go.